Hello, my name's Louise. I am the Maclean Library Officer. I'm here in Grafton on Bundjalung country, and we are going to do kokedamas today. Kokedama is a Japanese form of bonsai. It translates literally to a moss ball, and you'll understand that translation as we go along and through. So you can see I have 3 examples of what I've done. Today we'll be doing a ribbon plant because they are easy to grow, easy to find, and they have little pups that you can cut off and start with. So this is what I'll be starting with. Your ingredients are, you will need some potting mix, some peat moss, sphagnum moss, some water, whatever you'd like to wrap your kokedama with, so either a cotton string, a twine. I've got some purple wool here, synthetic wool that I will use today, and of course your plant. For your equipment you'll need 2 bowls. I've got ice cream containers, some scissors, a chopstick, and a crochet hook, and that will be all you will need to get going. So to begin with, the first thing I do is I soak sphagnum moss. So for this size is usually 2 handfuls of sphagnum moss, better to have a little bit too much, and I start it soaking in water. In my larger container I put 2 potting mix to 1 peat moss, and I mix it up so as it's wet. If you put too much water in, don't worry, as you work just squeeze the water out. That's what we do anyway. So we have a mix here that we will start with. So to start, I make a semi sphere in my left hand. I'm right-handed. You can see here I've got half in my hand. I have 1 plant with the roots down and the top, which I place across, and then I continue to build. Squeeze as you go. Squeeze the water out, squeeze it into shape, and continue just to build on that to however large you want your kokedama to be. Keep in mind that you have to manage this kokedama in your hand. So when you're beginning, I suggest just a hand size is good enough. You can see here I'm just working and squeezing. Don't worry too much about your shape. You will be able to squeeze it as you go along. As you can see here, I have created 1 ball of soil, which is compact enough for me to gently hold. Okay. So the next part is to start your twine, which I lay across and I hold on with my little finger across. So this is the starting point. You will be winding from this point. To cover this, and I move across now to my other container with my sphagnum moss. To cover this and make it tidy, you cover it with your sphagnum moss. That is the start of your twine, and then move around, covering as you go. Keep your twine at the top, squeezing as you go. The squeezing helps form the shape. We need to cover, there needs to be no gaps. We should not see any soil as we cover. This is the point where we start to wind and wrap. I generally go around, hold my kokedama on an angle and wind this way and move as I go. You can wind any way you like. It's just important to be firm. I'm going to put that on the ground out of view, but it's important to be firm in your winding and secure and not terribly close to the plant. I go about that far. That gives it room to grow. And then wind. At first you'll just be securing in the moss, and then as you go later you will see that there are patterns forming. So here we have our wrapped kokedama. You can wrap as much or as little as you like, as long as you have enough wrapping to hold the moss and the soil into place. So I have decided that this is enough, and my job now is to finish off the kokedama. So by turning it over, I go to the center at the bottom and I push the crochet hook under several of the strings. You can use it, wind it around, and all I'm doing here is creating a loop. Snip it off. Passing the end thread through that loop. Now, if you'd like to do that again and secure it, then you can. That's another good thing to do. So you can do it twice. Once is probably enough. Shorten your tail. Use the chopstick or whatever else that you have that can make a hole and push in that loose end. There he goes, in there. Now there's our kokedama so far. It needs a bit of a tidy up across the top. I use the back of the crochet hook and I just spend time now and push the sphagnum moss in underneath the area where the wrapping begins. This just tidies it up and allows just for a little bit of growth. You have the odd wrap that has come too close, and you can use your crochet hook also to do that. Push it down, don't be frightened of pushing it down, making it look good. It might not be sitting upright, you can still squish it, make it a little bit rounder if you need to reshape your ball. But there you have it. There is your kokedama. So this is a kokedama I started 12 months ago. You can see that it started as a small one. It has now got about 3 heads to it. I have it sitting on a glass plate, and if I tip it up, you can see here that it has roots coming out the bottom. I'm going to water my kokedama now, which is quite an easy process of placing your kokedama into a vessel and topping with water. As the water level gets up to the top, you can stop, and as you can see, I had that full. The water level will drop as the kokedama absorbs it. So I keep doing this until it doesn't absorb anymore, and then I leave it sit for about 10 minutes. Up to you. It doesn't hurt them to sit and have wet feet. Once the watering process is done, you can hang them or put them back onto their plate, depending on what you want to do. Your watering should only need to be done about once a week or once a fortnight, depending on the plant and the environment. When you start, they will be heavy, full of water, and when they're ready to water, they will be very light. If you like, you can also use liquid fertilizer and use the same process, but sit your plant in the fertilizer.
Thank you for watching. Clarence Regional Library hosts events and workshops just like this, live at all of our libraries throughout the year. You can check out what we have going on our website at crl.nsw.gov.au, and then scroll down and click on What's On at your library. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the other content we have on this channel.